on! Ladies, gentlemen, folks who are too big for the binary, we've got one more story left, and it belongs to my fellow Southsider, James Gordon!
It was first period of the first day of my first year teaching, and I was excited. I let my students in, got them sitting down. I was ready for my spiel that I had rehearsed for the last 7 days. Good morning, class. I'm Mr. Gordon. I'll be your, and immediately a young man in the front row raised his hand. I said, yes. He says, are you a sub? I'm like, I'm sorry? He said, well, I've never had a male teacher before. They've all been women, and usually the subs have been men, and you're a man, so are you a sub? And I said, no, son, I'm the regular teacher. He said, son. He said, your last name's Gordon, right? I said, yes. He said, well, I'm Stephen Jackson. My last name's Jackson. My dad's dead. You're not my dad. I'm not your son. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, praying, Lord, this is my first job with benefits. Don't make me lose it when I choke this motherfucker. Please. And then right after that, he sat down and he smiled, the shark grin, and said, it's okay. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I got through first period. I said, okay, cool, I'll readjust. I won't have to see him anymore that day. And the next 2 periods came, and then came homeroom, which was 4th period. And who walks in? Stephen fucking Jackson walks in. He says, hey, are you the homeroom teacher? And I said, oh my God, here it is. I said, well, it's homeroom. I'm your teacher, so I guess I'm your homeroom teacher. Ugh. And he says, he smiles that same grin and says, oh, that's good shit. I said, hey, young man, what's your language? He says, okay, Mr. G, it's cool. I said, it's Gordon. He said, okay. And this is what went on every few days ago. There would be a few questions. He'd be like, hey, Mr. G, who's your favorite basketball player? And without turning around, I'd be doing something on the board. It'd be like Michael Jordan. He says, oh, was he better than Isaiah? I said, yeah, he's better than Isaiah because this is 1992. I said, yeah, he's better than Isaiah. He says, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. It's number 23. He's better than him. He said, well, he's only got 1 championship. Isaiah's got 2. I don't know. I said, well, he's going to win again this year. He said, but if he doesn't, I said, Stephen, let's get back to work. And I found out that this is just what Stephen was. He wasn't a disruptor dude because he was really sharp. He wrote these journal entries that were like novels, and he had the most insightful stuff to say. One particular day, we were coming to the end of the month of September, and he says, hey, Mr. G, am I going to die? And I stopped. I said, excuse me? He says, am I going to die? And his cousin, who sat next to him, Tiffany, said, well, our cousin Lawrence got shot and killed last weekend, and so you know. And so I said, well, there's a better question you should be asking. And he said, what? And the entire class seemed to lean in to hear what I had to say, and this was an event for them all the time, too. And I said, are you going to live? Are you going to do well in school? Are you going to be good in the neighborhood? Are you going to live? Are you going to play basketball? Are you going to write the way you want to write? That's the better question. Stephen looks at me, hits me with that shark grin again, and said, Mr. G, that was some deep shit. And I said, dude, language. We progressed to October, and October's parent-teacher conference and meeting everybody and all this stuff, and it's going really well. Dr. Johnson, our principal, he leans over, he said, James, you're doing a great job. I'm hearing great things about it. I said, thanks. We come back to school the next day at the parent-teacher conference. Stephen, he said, hey, Mr. G, hey, man, are you gay? And I said, what, huh? He said, no, if you are, that's cool. But if you're not, my mom met you last night, and she told my auntie that you were really nice looking, so I figured if you were not gay and you were single, you could ask my mom out, and you might be a good stepdad. And he said this shit, and he smiles at me. And I'm like, what the And he didn't even give me a chance to answer. He said, no, Mr. G, never mind. See, if you did my mom wrong, I might have to mess you up, and we're cool. I don't want to do that shit. I'm like, okay, I'm glad that worked out like that. Shit. So, and then we had the trip. We had the tale of the 2 trips. The first trip, I said, I love the Nutcracker. okay, whatever. I love the Nutcracker. I think it's dope. I took these kids, these black kids, see the Nutcracker. That shit flopped like the Fire Festival. I swear to God. Just, oh my God. And Stephen, he was the last person off the bus. He said, I can't believe you took us to that shit. What's wrong with you? I said, no, trust me. And so a couple months later, December, right before Christmas break, I took him to see the other Cinderella at the Black Ensemble Theater. You got to go see it. It's like what the Wiz is to the Wizard of Oz. It's that to Cinderella. And they're there and they're dancing, they're clapping hands, they're snapping fingers and all that, and they're loving it. And Stephen comes up to me afterwards, and he's like, Mr. G, I want to be an actor. I said, well, do that then. You be an actor. He said, no, really, I want to be an actor. I said, well, act, get in drama club, do that stuff. We come back from Christmas break, and I found out Stephen had been shot and killed. Somehow or another, I made it through the end of the year. And as I was filling out his report card to give to his mom, I figured out something about my first year teaching, things I learned. I wasn't ready for Stephen Jackson, his life, his light, his positivity, his questions. But even now, a couple decades later, I wasn't ready for his death. And I'll never learn how to cope with that. Thank you.